Welcome everybody to this week was Memorial Day week, Memorial Day Monday, and we're hoping everybody got a chance in small groups to get out and enjoy yourselves. It was a beautiful weekend, but it is a time for us to honor the veterans and the meaning of service. Being at war and being a veteran is one of the hardest things that most people do. When I grew up around World War II veterans, most of them didn't want to talk about it much. They served, they did what they did, but few had much to say about it, other than that they felt like they did the right thing for their country. Unfortunately, wars disable people. They disable not just warriors, but they disable civilians and citizens alike. And sometimes the disabilities don't come at the time of the action. They come sometimes months, years upon years later. I always, in particular, I always like to be in an emergency with somebody who's a veteran. And the reason is that I know that that person has found out what it takes and what they can do when they're in a pinch. In other words, how much stamina do they have? How much capacity do they have? They've been tested and pushed. And so in the few times I've been in situations where real emergencies were happening, it was always good to be able to turn to somebody that you knew had tested themselves and had been tested. Sometimes good things come out of wars. Many of the inventions, modern inventions we have for good, have come out of situations, warlike situations. Lots of medical advances, including penicillin and other things, have resulted from wars. When it comes to disability, major advances that affected my own life personally, one of them is that the white cane that you now see blind people carrying as they walk came out as a result of World War II. A guy named Richard E. Hoover worked up at Valley Forge in Pennsylvania and later down here at Hopkins as well. And I think some of the VME folks that I've talked to actually knew him. Mr. Hoover saw thousands of blinded veterans coming back from World War II. And he thought, they need a way to get around. And so he developed the technique for using the cane where you tap the cane on each side and you move it back and forth as you walk. Now you might say to yourself, well, that's not anything earth-shattering. But I can tell you that if you look down through the history of blindness, there was only one other person who had really come up with the idea historically, and it didn't catch on. And he also came up with the idea that most blind people did use canes, but they were short little walking stick canes. And he came up with the idea the canes needed to be longer. And so when I grew up in the 60s, benefited immensely from the fact that Mr. Hoover developed the white cane as a result of World War II. And I'm forever grateful for what he did. Here at the Image Center, we have a veteran-directed care program that you'll be hearing more about later. But we provide all of our services to veterans, obviously, in Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Harford County. I want to turn things over to Micah Wills. Micah has been with us for several years. She is, unlike some of us around the Image Center, she's a quiet, hard worker who comes in and does her job consistently each and every day, and I'm grateful for all that she does. I want to introduce Micah Wills to make some of her comments and talk about her role at Image, and then talk about Mr. Bates and what he's done. Micah, it's yours. Hang on, we gotta get you unmuted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We got you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I hear you.
Thank you so much, Mike, for those kind words. I owe you a drink. Uh, Again, my name is Micah Wells. I've been with the Image Center now for 4 years. It was actually a career change for me. Before working at Image, I stopped working for 4 years to take care of my youngest daughter. And before then, I worked at Johns Hopkins managing clinical trials. So I can say that my work at Image, working under the Veterans Directed Care, is definitely some very rewarding and worthwhile work. And honestly, not nearly as stressful as what I was doing at Hopkins. But anyway, at Image, I work directly under the VDC program. And you might be wondering exactly what that is, so I will give you a few details on it. You'll also hear more about it later. The VDC program is a self-directed home and community-based services program.
Oh, okay. I thought I got it.
Somebody's getting feedback. Is somebody not muted?
Okay.
Go ahead, Micah.
Okay, I'll restart from the explain what the VDC program is. It's a self-directed home and community-based services program. And basically with this program, veterans or their representatives are provided with funding in order for care attendants to be hired to care for the veteran within his or her home. Care attendants provide services such as preparing meals, bathing the veteran, escorting the veteran to medical appointments, pretty much things that the veteran needs to complete their activities of daily living. The care attendants can provide those services due to the funding that's provided through the program. Now, this evening, I have the pleasure of introducing to you Mr. Thomas Irvin Bates. Mr. Bates is one of my initial clients. When I came to the Image Center, he was in my first caseload. I've had Mr. Bates, I've had the pleasure of having him as my client since 2016. And it's been very rewarding working with him and his family. This evening, I will share with you some info about Mr. Bates and his life. So at the age of 20, Mr. Bates entered the United States Army as a part of their special forces. He was stationed at Fort Knox in New Jersey, and he completed 6 years of service. After he finished his service, he returned back to Baltimore County, which is where he has resided as a lifetime resident. He drove trucks for the Montgomery Ward Company for several years. He also owned retail stores where he sold porcelain dolls. Later on, he purchased and operated his own truck, as well as serving as the assistant pastor at the church that his family attends. In 2010, he suffered from a massive stroke, which unfortunately left him with some permanent disabilities, such as limited use of his limbs, and he also has a speech impairment. However, with the help of speech therapists, physical therapists, and the dedication and commitment of his wife, he has made much progress since then, as well as his participation in the VDC program has greatly impacted his improvement. Mr. Bates started the VDC program in 2014, which allowed his wife to resign from her job to become her husband's full-time caretaker. She does things for him like daily exercise routines so that his limbs can be loosened. She takes care of his personal needs, medical needs, and makes sure that he gets to all his medical appointments. And I do have to say, every time that I go and visit their house, it is completely pristine. So along with taking care of him, she does an excellent job taking care of their home as well. The much hard work and dedication from both Mr. and Mrs. Bates. I'm proud to say that Mr. Bates is no longer bedbound. After his stroke, he initially was bedbound for a long period of time. However, because his wife was able to stay at home and care for him, he's been able to build up enough strength to get out of the bed. Mr. Bates is also now able to participate in social activities with his family, which a lot of people want to spend time with him, considering he has 6 children and 22 grandchildren. Mr. Bates also made the decision to become healthier, and a part of this decision also allowed him to move about easier and made it easier for his wife to move him in and out of the bed. He started eating healthier, and it resulted in a 162-pound weight loss. Mr. Bates always has a very willing attitude. No matter what the obstacle is, he always says, "I'll do it," as his wife told me. He's truly deserving to be honored tonight, and I hope that I'm able to continue to serve Mr. Bates for many more years to come. He's such a pleasure to work with, and I'm truly saying that from my heart. He really is a pleasure to have as a client. We're honored to have Mr. and Mr. Bates on the call with us this evening, and I would like for them to share some words with us, some experiences, and how the BDC program has impacted your lives. Thank you.
Hi, morning. I'm sorry. Good morning. How are you?
Hello.
Micah, we would like to thank you for all the kind things that you said about us, and this program really has helped us tremendously. As you stated, I was able to quit my job and concentrate on my husband's getting better, and he really has made a lot of strides. He can talk some now. Like you said, he was bedbound. He can socialize. He can go for rides in the car now when he wants to. He can go to lunch. We weren't able to do that when I was working. Just didn't have the time or the means. But he made up his mind he was going to do it.
Yeah, also.
It takes him a minute.
Also, boats, boats.
Yeah, you used to do all that, boats
Yeah.
and stuff. Mhm.
Yeah,
And you are a real pleasure to work with, Micah. Anytime I have
Thank
a
you.
problem, I call you and you get it resolved for us.
Thank you.
You've been wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh.
You deserve a lot of praise.
yep,
Thank you.
believe me.
You have anything you think?
No, it's not at all. It's great to come in here and hopefully people with
Continue to work with
yeah,
Micah.
yeah.
Thank you. Y'all giving me tears.
Oh, you did us too, speaking about us. We feel like your family.
Oh, same here.
It's been wonderful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
You have anything else you want to say?
No,
You have any questions for him?
I personally don't. Mike might. I'm not sure if Mike is muted. Heather, is Mike unmuted?
I'm trying to find him in the list, actually.
Oh, no. I hope he didn't.
So
I think he got accidentally kicked out.
Oh, no.
oh dear. Okay.
Let me just introduce Crystal. That was next on the list. Thank you so much, Mr. Bates. We really appreciate you. Congratulations. And we thank you for serving our country. Crystal, are you here?
And I'll step in for Crystal for her.
Okay.
So we really want to take this, continue this program. And by the way, congratulations again, Mr. Bates. But we really want to take this program to another one that we call Out and About. Crystal Brockington is the one who works with that. And she had recommended that we honor Marvin. So let's move on to Marvin. And we have his family on the call as well. But tonight we're honoring Sergeant Marvin Dawkins. He was actually in the Vietnam War, and he entered into service when he was 19 years old. I talked with him the other day, and he told me that he did his training at both Fort Jackson and Fort Bragg before he went into the war. He has been with the Image Center in our Out and About program, which really is a program that helps veterans if they want to transition from a nursing home back into their home. And he goes in and gives a lot of encouragement, a lot of support to nursing home residents, and he's just a treasure for us. He's been at the Image Center since September of 2014. He has a wife and 3 children, all of which are on the call tonight, and we see a picture of the family there, really nice picture there. I've had a chance to also talk with Marvin's brother and 2 of the daughters, and they're just delightful. One of the things that we decided to do was to actually put together a video of Marvin. So let's cue that up.
Yes, I was 19 when I went in, and it was a little scary because at the time it was the Vietnam War, and of course I won the lottery and I went over there. 18 months I was a sergeant. After the military, I was always able to get good jobs and started a family, 3 children. I was watching television one day and I felt hot. And I stood up, and my legs just gave out. Then I woke up a month later. It's a spinal stroke. I go out to nursing homes and talk to the residents and try to get everybody on one accord to see that if people want to leave, they should help them leave the nursing home. Being in the military helps you to work with people, and that has helped me all through my life. You know, it's better to work with the people instead of against the people. People just deserve to I call it get a second chance to go out and live their life until, until God takes it away from them.
I want to now go ahead. Oh, sorry, Angela, you were going to introduce Marvin.
Yeah, well, that's okay. If Marvin, if you're on the line, we would love for you to say a few words to us. And if his family wants to add a couple words too, you'd be more than welcome to hear. Marvin, it's all yours.
Okay, can you see me?
We can hear you.
Did I do something wrong?
No.
Dad, just put your phone up a little bit so they can see your face. We almost see your forehead.
My screen is so dark I can't see anything in it.
Well, just go ahead and talk. We can hear you really well.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay. I'm grateful that I was picked to be in the position where I could let people know how grateful I am to have really served in the military. Because it gave me, I guess, training and knowledge that carried me through the rest of my life. Not being a bad boy and not going to jail or anything like that. So it raised a nice family. I think the military should be mandatory for 2 years for everybody, all the males. That's my personal opinion. But I have gone through a lot, and that military training has helped me go toe the line all of these years. I'm grateful for it.
Good.
Well, and you've lived a life of service in so many ways. A lot of people don't know it took Marvin 12 or 13 years to get out of the nursing facility, but while he was there, he was on the residence committees. After he got out, he has been on state committees as well as spoken to the federal Medicare and Medicaid folks about how these programs ought to be run. He doesn't just talk about it. He's willing to do what it takes to make a difference, and that really exemplifies the power of your service.
Yeah, I've spoken at 3 of the conventions that they've had in DC. That for the people that write the laws, and also worked for 2 months to make the new regulations for the waiver program, and that was really enlightening for me. So I do try to help out wherever I can.
Well, thank you very much. It means a lot for us to have you with us. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you're going to have a disability, you got to be tough. You're an example of how tough a person has to be sometimes to make things happen. So thank you very much for being a part of what we do.
Thank you.
All right, Imani Graham, are you out there?
Yes, I am.
I want to give Imani a few minutes to talk about the Veterans Directed Program. She's the director of the program, makes it all click and work. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Imani, for some comments.
I'm not going to keep you guys long. I just want to clear some things up. The Veteran Directed Care Program is, again, a program that allows the veteran to self-direct their care. It allows the veteran or their representative to become their own employee. They get to hire their own employer. I'm sorry. They get to hire employees. They have to fill out W-9s, W-2s, support planners, have to help them maintain a budget. We have to help them with payroll. We have to help them with their initial IRS paperwork. We have to help them figure out how much they're going to pay their employers. We have to figure out what the hourly rates are going to be. We have to help them with their yearly submissions for the budgets. We have to help them with their yearly functional assessments. We keep up with the veterans. We check on them quarterly. We go see them. We check on them monthly. Well, we check on them way more than monthly, of course. And we are, these veterans, we are their support planners. We are their support. And we have, I just want to give a shout out. We have the old VAMC coordinator on the phone, Kathy Cross. Give a shout out to Kathy. We have, hey, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
We have the old program manager for the Maryland Department of Aging, Crystal Samuels. Hey, Crystal, on the phone. And we also have the other old program manager for the Maryland Department of Aging, Carrie Frazier. Hey, Carrie. And we have
None of
the
these people are actually old.
yeah, none of them. And we have the new program manager for the Maryland Department of Aging on the phone, Samantha Wilson. So give a shout out to Samantha as well. We started out this program in 2013. We were the first SILs to be invited to be supports planners for this program. We started out with 5 veterans. We are now at 27. The program is always expanding. We are always happy to take new veterans, and we love doing this work. And we thank you to our veterans. We thank you for serving our country.
Well, and the person who really brings it all together and makes it work is Imani, and staff.
And I'm
talked
not a
recently-
quiet one. I'm not.
And you're not. No, no. But she cracks the whip. She makes it all work, and she's one of the first people to come to me, even though she talks tough. She's one of the first people to come to me and say, "Hey, so and so's having a problem. We need to go take care of that." She's very sensitive to the people around her. Tonight, I'd like to present Imani with an Excellence in Service Award from the Image Center for all of her hard work for us. And in order to say a few words, I want to maybe have Kathy Cross to say a few words now. You'll have to track Kathy down and unmute her. Well, go ahead, Imani. Say a few words if you like.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. Hi. So I worked with Imani for over 3 years, some indirect and some more directly. And during that time, she originally was working with our program with Baltimore City, and then she acquired Baltimore County, and then she acquired Harford County. And that was just with the VA program. That's not what she was doing outside of the VA program. She was always willing to help, very logical person to work with, very quick to act, and so supportive and such an advocate for our veterans. So she is very, very deserving of this award. I'm very proud to know her. Even since I've not been part of the program, she still reached out for several veterans to get assistance for them. She continues to advocate even when they're not part of the Veteran Directed Care Program. She's an amazing person. Congratulations, Imani. Very well deserved.
Thank you. And I couldn't have done it without my team, Micah, Kia, Tracy, Crystal. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. They really, really work hard. And every time I need them to be my eyes, or something is not right, or I need them to take a veteran or get things done, they are always there. So thank you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you all, folks. We'll be doing this again next week. We've got VME Service Team of the Year next week, as well as some awards for partners in the community who had screwed up earlier at the beginning of the show and did not mention our sponsors and ticket holders. I want to thank each and every one of you who has purchased a ticket or who has made a sponsorship. We've had 2 people give $1,000 sponsorships. I can't tell you how rewarding it is. I've said it in the weeks previous, how rewarding it is when people are willing to support us with your donations. I want to thank each and every one of you for that. Please stay tuned with the Image Center. If you're interested in 211 services this Monday at 2 o'clock, check your emails because you'll be getting information about that. And again, thank you all, and have a very good and relaxing evening.